You ever wake up one morning, coffee in hand, thinking it's just another quiet day, only have your whole world turned upside down by someone with a clipboard and a vendetta? That's exactly what happened to me, Tom Carver, on a hazy summer morning out on my little patch of land in Willow Creek, Texas. I was standing on my porch, watching the sun climb over the fields, when a gleaming black Cadillac rolled up the gravel drive to my barn, license plate screaming, HOA boss. Out stepped Linda, grace in our neighborhood's self-crowned dictator, president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association. She was all sharp angles, crisp navy blazer, hair teased into a helmet of blonde, and a walk that said she owned every blade of grass in a 5-mile radius. She didn't wave, didn't smile, just marched straight for me, heels sinking into the dirt, clipboard clutched like a battle axe. "Mr. Carver," she snapped, not even pretending to be neighborly, "that tractor of yours is an eyesore, a violation of our community standards." I set my mug down, already feeling the heat in my chest. She was talking about Bessie, my dad's 1968 John Deere, beat up but faithful, parked out back behind cedar fence. I'd spent years rebuilding that thing with my boy, Ethan, after my wife passed. It wasn't just a tractor, it was us, our sweat, our grief, our way of holding on to something solid when everything else fell apart. "Linda," I said, keeping my voice steady, "that tractor's on my land, not HOA turf. You know that parcel was grandfathered in when you all annexed my farm." She didn't blink, just pointed at Bessie like it was a rustic crime scene. "The covenant says all visible equipment must align with Willow Creek's aesthetic vision. That thing's a blight." "A blight?" I almost laughed. This land was growing corn before her McMansion had a blueprint. I built half the houses in this subdivision back when I ran a contracting crew, laid the pipes, poured the concrete. I knew every lot line, every loophole in. I knew my 5 acres weren't hers to boss around. "Send me a formal notice," I told her, "and I'll have my lawyer look it over." Her lips twitched, that fake smile she always wore, and she scribbled something on her clipboard. "You have 3 days to move it, or we'll handle it ourselves." Then she spun around, kicked up a cloud of dust, and peeled out like she'd already won. I stood there, the cicadas buzzing, my gut twisting with something I hadn't felt since my Army days, a mix of rage and resolve. Bessie wasn't just steel and bolts. She was my dad teaching me to plow at 10, Ethan's hands learning to wrench at 16. Linda didn't just want my tractor gone, she wanted my history erased to keep her cul-de-sac perfect for her Pilates pals. I wasn't about to let that happen. 2 days later, Ethan and I were in town grabbing feed when it went down. We were gone maybe 90 minutes, but when we got back, the side yard was empty. No tarp, no cinder blocks, no Bessie, just tire tracks gouged through the dirt. My heart at my boots. Ethan was already on his phone, pulling up the security cam we'd stuck on the barn last spring. There was clear as day, 2 guys in a tow truck, no logos, no warning, yanking Bessie like she was scrap. And there, off to the side, was Linda in her blazer, arms crossed, nodding like a general. No notice, no letter, no nothing, just theft, plain and simple. Ethan zoomed in on the tow truck's plates, muttering, "Got you." I was already digging through our HOA binder. 3 years of letters and fines, not one mentioning Bessie. "This is my land," I growled. "They trespassed." Ethan looked up, eyes sharp like his mom's when she was pissed. "Cops?" he asked. I shook my head. Linda was too slick for Thatched, probably filed some fake paperwork claiming Bessie was abandoned. "She wants a fight on her terms," I said. "We're not playing her game." Ethan's jaw tightened, and he got that look, the one that meant trouble. "Then we outsmart her," he said, slow, deliberate. "I'm thinking we give her a taste of her own rules." I raised an eyebrow. "What's the plan?" He grinned, that lopsided smirk he got from his mom. "Her Cadillac." She parks it at the HOA clubhouse every Tuesday. Bet I could turn it into something agricultural. I should have stopped him, told him to cool it. But the truth? I was done being pushed around. Linda had drawn a line, and I was ready to cross it. Nothing illegal, I said. He nodded, already halfway to the barn, tools clanking in his hands. That night, I heard the welder sparking behind the barn, Ethan working like a man possessed. He'd always been good with his hands, better than me. Maybe Bessie was our project after his mom's cancer took her, a way to keep our heads above water. Now, he was channeling that same focus into something new, something wild. By morning, I walked out to find him crouched beside what used to be Linda's Cadillac. He bought it legally after she stiffed Ray's auto on a repair bill. Mechanics lien, state law, all squared away. The thing was barely recognizable. Jacked up on monster tires, a plow blade welded to the front, the hood painted with Linda's lawnmower in bright green. It was ridiculous, brilliant, and best of all street legal, registered as a multi-use farm vehicle. 3 days, Ethan said, wiping grease off his hands. Then we park it right where Bessie was. I laughed, picturing Linda's face. She's gonna lose it. That's the point, he said, and I saw in his eyes not just anger, but purpose. This wasn't just about a tractor anymore. It was about standing up to someone who thought she could bully a whole town into submission. The next evening, I drove to the Willow Creek Community Center for the HOA meeting, buttoned up in my best flannel, ready to give Linda one last chance to back off. The room was set up like a courtroom, the board in their matching polos behind a long table, Linda in the middle like a queen on her throne. I sat in the front row, wading through their nonsense about mailbox colors and hedge heights, my blood simmering. When they finally called me, I stood, boots loud on the tile. "You stole my tractor," I said, staring straight at Linda. "No notice, no vote, just sent your goons onto my land." She didn't flinch, just raised her eyebrows. The HOA removed non-compliant equipment, per subsection 4.2. I stepped closer. "You trespassed. That's theft. My land's outside your rules, and you know it." The room went quiet, a few neighbors shifting in their seats. Linda tapped her iPad, cool as ice. "We'll review your concerns and respond in 30 days. 30 days. Like my family's history was just another agenda item. I walked out, feeling the eyes of the room on me, knowing this wasn't over. Back home, Ethan was in the barn, sketching plans for Linda's lawnmower. "She stonewalled you," he said, not looking up. "Yup," I said. "So we make her regret it." He nodded, and I felt itis, together, an army of two. 3 days later, we rolled the monstrosity into place, same spot where Bessie sat, just visible through the neighbor's shrubs. It was a masterpiece. High chassis, utility tires, a slow-moving vehicle triangle bolted on, and a laminated copy of the HOA bylaws, highlighted to show we'd broken no rules. Ethan stepped down, grinning. "She's gonna blow a gasket." I just stared, half proud, half worried we'd poked a bear. By 9 a.m., Linda came charging down the street. No car, just her blazer flapping, clipboard swinging. "What is this?" she shrieked, pointing at the thing. I sipped my coffee, calm as could be. "Morning, Linda. That's my new farm vehicle, legally registered, fully compliant." Ethan held out the paperwork, title, permits, the works. She swatted it away. "This is harassment. You vandalized my car." "Not your car," I said. "We bought it fair and square. Check the DMV." Her face went purple, and she started snapping photos like they'd save her. "I'll sue," she hissed. "Go for it," I said. "But you're standing on my land now." She froze, then stormed off, heels kicking up gravel like a tantrum. That afternoon, we emailed every neighbor in Willow Creek, laying it all out. The theft, the footage, the fake rules Linda used to justify it. We asked one question: if they could take my tractor, what's next? The response was like a dam breaking. Neighbors I hadn't seen in years started talking about fines for flower pots, citations for kids' chalk drawings, threats over wind chimes. A petition to dissolve the HOA board spread like wildfire, hitting 60% of signatures in 10 days. Then came the real blow. A neighbor, Mike, worked in a city clerk's office and dug up dirt. Linda had funneled $40,000 of HOA funds to her sister's landscaping company, a front with no real contracts. We sent that to the city, and within days, they froze the HOA's accounts, suspended Linda, and called for an audit. Her empire was crumbling, and the town was waking up. The city hearing was packed, standing room only. I stood at the mic, looking out at neighbors I barely knew, all there for the same reason. "I'm not here for revenge," I said. "I'm here because no one gets to steal what's mine, not my tractor, not my home, not my dignity." Ethan showed the permits, the fake fines Linda sent, the survey proving our land was ours. One by one, neighbors spoke. A mom fined for a Christmas wreath, a vet cited for his flag, a kid whose basketball hoop vanished. Then Mike dropped the bomb: Linda's fraud, her lies, her destroyed appeals. The council voted that night. The HOA board was done. The next morning, a flatbed brought Bessie back, scuffed but whole. I touched her hood, feeling my dad, my wife, my son, all there in the metal. Neighbors came by, not to fight, but to build new bylaws, a new board, a new Willow Creek. Ethan got elected, the youngest member, promising no one would feel helpless again. We parked Linda's lawnmower next to Bessie in the barn, a reminder of what we'd done. That fall, we threw a harvest festival, no permits, just music, pie, and kids climbing on tractors. As the bonfire crackled, I realized this wasn't about winning a fight. It was about belonging to a place, a family, a community that finally remembered how to stand together. But here's the thing. Linda's still out there, quiet for now, but people like her don't vanish. They wait. So I'm asking you, what would you have done? Fought back like we did, or let it slide? Drop a comment, share your story. Have you ever faced someone trying to control your corner of the world? Let's talk about it, because trust me, this fight's never really over.